The captain of the fleet says, "Hold your fire, they are trying to make contact." And then the Supreme HFY blows his ass into a half cup of atomic matter. The ever-famous warning shot was a kill shot. Cossack takes control of the fleet and orders everyone to open fire, doing a lot of cosmetic damage to the ship's front end. And the Supreme HFY goes all out, blasting nearly the entire fleet to scrap in a matter of minutes. And there's a lot of scenes of Condor dying horrifically, like getting burned, exploded, torn in half from shrapnel, getting sucked out into space, getting vaporized by a plasma shot. And then the Supreme HFY captain says, "Pitiful things. We leave. Hopefully they will provide better sport when we give them time to prepare." Stupid. Go now, frown bad. Ball our game better with practice swing. Yes, over captain, affirmative caption. And the Supreme HFY starts to turn back towards the Vale. Cossack, battered and bloody, pushes a corpse off the command console, starts manual override, and drives the convass into the Supreme HFY's way, letting loose with everything he has. The over-captain gives the order to cripple the ship but not destroy it, as the crew's fighting spirit interests him. Beat crap out of but no shit beat. I hear him like, of playtime fight. And so the Supreme HFY blasts the convass with its main cannon, which we know was not placed on the front, and blasts the ship aside, but doesn't outright destroy it. Cossack then is informed life support and damn near everything, but the engines is shot to hell. And he decides to abandon ship. But not before he rigs the convass to do a suicide charge, right into the Supreme HFY's side. The convass explodes, causing the shields to drop and causing a sizable dent in the Supreme HFY. Afterwards, Cossack falls unconscious and the screen goes black. The crowd is silent for a moment. The only thing you could hear was me trying to hold back my giggling. Damn, that was funny. Thanks, but Aliahen, no one hurt me. I stopped for a moment to look down at my watch, to look at the time, and only a single standard hour had passed. I had to sit through 5 more hours of this. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I didn't get a choice as the film resumed. Cossack coming to in a medbay of a Condor cruiser. The Konkin, I think it was called. So Cossack goes through the usual bullshit in these kinds of flicks, dealing with a top brass that thinks he hit his head too hard with the usual "nothing can live in the Vale" stuff that they've been spouting since the beginning of the film. So it goes on to Cossack, temporarily relieved of duty while he fully recovers from his head trauma. Enter love interest, the surprisingly attractive doctor. And I mean attractive by human standards, who at first does not believe Cossack, treating him as another mental patient. But as the scene keeps shifting to the supremacy glassing made-up planets, people obviously are starting to get suspicious, including the doctor, who starts asking about this phantom ship. Of course, we never glassed any world. Admittedly, we blew one up, but that was when we thought it was uninhabited. But humanity had made only 2 other major incursions into Condor space, both done by pirates. The rest were minor skirmishes that didn't happen until way after first contact. Eventually, through a 2-hour-long reel of drama which I slept through, except for the sex scene, that was actually pretty interesting. Didn't know a Condor woman was that flexible. Cossack is delivering a message to the gathering. Basically every branch of their government meshed together into a sausage fest of epic proportions, warning of this race of planet-killing maniacs. Even with the overwhelming evidence, the gathering is hesitant about making war, especially while Goks are still fighting them. Suddenly Goks transmission. They shall ally with Condor after our atrocious crimes committed against them. In reality, all we did was drop out of warp kinda close to a flagship. Close enough to where we tore through the whole thing as we decelerated. And then obliterated the entire 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fleet when they retaliated. We still apologized, but them Goks know how to hold a grudge. course, with the overwhelming evidence and the support of their one-time enemies, the Condor go to war. Except the cliché corrupt politician, and by some political bullshit the Condor have, he stalls the whole vote. I would explain why that worked, but it would take longer than watching this damn movie. So Cossack is still grounded for massive drama before the Goks interrupt, pledging their aid against us on some kind of blood oath that apparently overrides the other guy's override. Finally some real action. So, the Allied systems alongside the Goks Union form this huge fleet to combat the human fleet, which by the way looks like someone copy-pasted the supremacy several hundred times over. Cossack is given command of the Conson and placed under the command of another commander, one that was obviously red shirt material. And I was right. After the not-so-motivating speech about how they were the galaxy's last hope, they started fighting our fleet, which was just twiddling its thumbs, waiting for them in a random tract of space. And it wasn't even 3 minutes into it that the captain of the fleet gets torn in half by teleporting boarding parties. The ensign tried to make a brave show of it, but she only killed one human before she got restrained. Remember those tentacle things I was talking about earlier? Yeah. Tentacle rape. Humans aren't the only one with that fetish. Interesting to watch though. So, then it turns away from the massive galactic battle to Cossack, whose ship lost power. And since the people by the reactor are no longer responding, cut to reactor room filled with that goop they call blood. While humans are eating/raping half-dead Condor, he leads a team to go down there. An action flick quickly becomes a horror flick as the human hunting band hunts the team down one by one. Eventually only Cossack is left, who manages to kill the entire hunting party but one, who teleports him back to the Supreme Chai. The over-captain, who despite never meeting him, knows Cossack instantly and gloats over his triumph. Then faster than you can say plot hole, he breaks free and sacrifices himself to kill the over-captain, pushing him into a reactor core, which by the way, you should never leave open. For some reason, that ended the battle. Apparently our chain of command is destroyed when you kill our captain. So afterwards we retreated back into the Veil. Cossack is hailed as a hero, hooray and all that. Then some stirring speech from Cossack, a subtitle that says 20 later. Humans are back, but we find a massive fleet waiting for us that blows us to bits. With Cossack as captain of the fleet of course. And it ends with the same Condor from the beginning saying, we Xanon have always looked up for our answers. We sought life out there in the galaxy and the very souls we reached out to reached back to us. But the galaxy is a fickle place. Some of the very beings we called out to were not interested in peace. Some were more interested in slaughter. Cut to human hunter guy. Some in sport. Cut to over captain. But we Xanon shall prevail. We have before, we have now, and we always shall. And then the rolling credits play as the lights slowly come back on. I fumbled to get my helmet back on before anyone turns, and it clicked into place thankfully quick. The Condors seem oblivious to me, talking among each other what they thought of the movie. I thought it was alright. Never thought of humans as looking like that, but damn they look ugly. Cossack never did any of that though. I thought he retired a drunk. Well, you know these movie producers, big on action, little on history. I like the movie, for once it shows us fighting back. I couldn't resist. I thought it was a load of crap. I mean, is the guy dead or not? When everyone looked at me, I couldn't help but crack a smile. Course, they couldn't see it under my helmet. That's probably what got them all screaming and running out of the Cineplex. I certainly had fun for one evening. Later on it became a cult classic because of some rumor spread that all who watch the movie and talk bad about it will then die from angry human spirits bound to the essence of the film or something. Wonder how that got started. I think I'll ask for a copy of that film during the next meeting. Taken from the Journal of T. Ralphik, currently promoted to Chief Diplomat. Author's name and link to original text is in the description.